Talking about the soul is talking about the unknown, about what is invisible to our eyes. However, in antiquity, both in the East and in the West, we find a vast array of mystical topics, which reveal great secrets about the soul and the universe. Today we are going to talk about the 5 levels of the soul. Searching among the oldest texts on esoteric topics, I came across a book called Sefer Yetzirah, or Book of Formation, which is one of the main sources of Kabbalah, or Jewish mysticism. And if we talk about Kabbalah, we are talking about Tree of Life. The Tree of Life is a cosmic structure composed of 10 spheres or Sefirot. According to oral tradition, this knowledge is attributed to an important biblical figure, Abraham, who is considered the father of the Abrahamic religions, Christianity, Islam, and Judaism. It is estimated that Abraham lived approximately between 1800 and 1500 before Christ, and received this knowledge through divine inspiration. This sacred knowledge was hidden and guarded for many centuries. The text reveals that the universe was created through writing, number, and word, using the 32 paths of wisdom. This refers to the 10 Sefirot and the 22 Hebrew letters, which are the 22 paths connecting them. These 32 paths form the Tree of Life. Ultimately, we are discussing an interpretation of creation that is quite different from what we know in the book of Genesis. And it is based on the 10 Sefirot, which are 10 dimensions or levels of consciousness, ranging from the most spiritual and abstract, known as Keter, to the experience in the material world, or Malchut. By understanding the different aspects and qualities of the 10 Sefirot and their connections, we can come to know the essence of creation as well as ourselves. This concept aligns with the string theory, which also proposes that reality is composed of 10 dimensions that coexist in multiple parallel universes, where there are no objective facts at the quantum level. The term quantum refers to a branch of physics that studies nature at atomic scale, known as quantum physics. Thanks to Niels Bohr and the Copenhagen interpretation of 1927, we know that particles can behave differently when observed, meaning that the act of observation or measurement crystallizes their behavior, and that thought, along with conscious observation, is capable of transforming reality. Our mind is not separate from the quantum nature, and it has the ability to produce changes in the physical world. The Tree of Life, or the Sephirotic tree, is not only intimately related to the cosmos and the human essence, but, in Platonic terms, also to the macrocosm and microcosm. It reveals the existence of 4 worlds, known as Olamot, and each of these worlds is also represented by the Tree of Life. Understanding and connecting these worlds allows one to ascend to higher realms. The first world is known as Olam Asiya, the world of action, which is a physical world, also referred to as the world of effects. According to Kabbalah, the soul, in its densest form, is the human body or nefesh. It is the level of the soul that allows us to experience the 3-dimensional state of consciousness, with height, width, and depth, in our physical world. The next world is Olam Yetzirah, the world of formation, which represents the astral and emotional dimension, as well as the dimension of time. Olam Yetzirah is considered the 4th dimension. The Ruach, or the astral body, is the level of the soul that operates in this plane. We activate it consciously or unconsciously every time we go to sleep, and it is where we experience emotions and feelings of both pain and pleasure. During the state of sleep, we transition from physical consciousness to astral consciousness, and we can have wonderful experiences in this level of existence. Lucid dreaming and out-of-body experiences are conscious manifestations of our astral body or Ruach. Just as each of these worlds is represented by a Tree of Life, each body or level of the soul is also represented by it, and we can divide each one into 2 parts, a lower body and an upper body. So, the nefesh, or upper physical body, connects with the lower ruach, or lower astral body, and the upper astral body connects us with the lower mental world. This plane is known as Olam Bria, which means world of creation. Neshama is the name of our concrete mental body or rational mind. In this level of the soul, we operate with thoughts, and it is related to the left hemisphere of our brain, where the illusory perception of time, past and future, is created. It is believed that during our daily lives, we generate over 70,000 thoughts that operate at the lower level of mental consciousness, known as concrete or binary thinking. This type of thinking is always dual, choosing one thing and rejecting another, existing in duality. It is a linear thought, although very practical for the experience in the physical world. Beyond the concrete mind, there exists another plane known as the abstract mind or the quantum mind, which is the higher mental body. It is associated with the right hemisphere of our brain. Chaya is the name of the higher mental body. In this plane, the mind transcends time and space, and we connect with the field of the collective unconscious or the unified field of all laws, the fifth dimension. It is here where we begin to experience the consciousness of unity. The higher mental universe is known as Olam Atzilut, the world of emanation. For thousands of years we have been experiencing the concrete mind and have become skilled at rational thinking. Scientific advancements are evidence of this. However, our challenge lies in beginning to experiment with the quantum mind. Quantum thinking reflects a potential that is capable of transforming our reality. When one is able to detach oneself from the past and the future, in other words, from the temporal dimension and the projections of the concrete mind, we enter a state of coherence where both hemispheres of the brain align. Accessing mystical knowledge opens a door to understanding the higher mind. The experience of the state of consciousness of unity can be attained through meditation, where the physical body, deeply relaxed, and the active mind in high vibrations can generate a vital and transformative experience. To connect with Olam Atzilut, it is only possible in a mind where fear, hatred, and disconnection from oneself do not dominate. It only happens in a mental state of absolute trust and perfect synchronization with unity, the here and now in fullness. The quantum mind is the link that connects us with the spiritual consciousness, which is the next level of the soul, known as Yehidah, or the unique body. Yehidah refers to the fusion with divine consciousness, the infinite or the Ein Sof. In Kabbalah, the Ein Sof or the infinite is God in himself or in his purest essence. We are then talking about enlightenment. This divine realm is also known as the universe of Adam Kadmon, or the primordial man, which coexists in the Ein Sof. It is from this first spiritual world that the other four Olamot mentioned earlier emanate. Each letter of the Tetragrammaton, Yud, He, Vav, He, which is the name revealed to Moses in the Mount Sinai, is related to each of these four worlds and in turn to the four elements, fire, water, air and earth respectively. The Yehidah or spiritual body is related to what alchemists called ether or the fifth essence. It is associated with the letter Aleph, which is the first letter of the Hebrew alphabet, representing unity with divine essence. Yehidah is the fifth level of the soul and the highest state of consciousness that we know, comparable to nirvana, a term used in Buddhism for those who attain the state of divine consciousness, and the waking of the infinite potential of the soul, enlightenment. Thanks to ancient texts like the Pali Canon, which contains the teachings of Buddha, and the theosophical knowledge of the late 19th century, we can find many connections between Kabbalah, Buddhism, and Hinduism. Buddha spoke about the cycle of birth, life, death, and rebirth, known as samsara, which he divided into three major worlds, each containing 31 planes of existence. These worlds are Kamaloka, the world of desire, Rupaloka, the world of form, and Arupaloka, the world of formlessness. Kamaloka is associated with Olam Asya, the connection to the material world. It corresponds to the third dimension. Rupaloka, the realm of form, corresponds to Olam Yetzirah, also translated as the world of formation, referring to the astral or emotional plane, which is the fourth dimension. Its point of origin is Olam Bria, the concrete mental universe. Arupa Loka, the realm of formlessness, is the abstract mental plane, corresponding to Olam Absolute or the fifth dimension. And finally, Nirvana corresponds to Adam Kadmon and Ein Sof, the infinite. Nirvana is located above the 31 planes of existence as the ultimate level, that is 31 plus 1, which is 32, and 32 are also the paths of wisdom, the total composition of the tree of life, where Keter, the first Sephirah, also represents the enlightenment of consciousness. The 10 Sephirot of the tree of life are arranged in 7 levels, which also correspond to the 7 chakras or energy centers. The symbol that represents the heart chakra is the tetrahedron star or Star of David, better known as the Merkabah. It is also the vehicle used in Kabbalistic meditation to connect with higher states of consciousness. The connection between one world and another occurs precisely from Tiferet. There are many relationships we find between Kabbalah, Buddhism, and Hinduism, leading us to conclude that both schools are based on the connection with the spiritual world and the origin of everything. They also reveal that the path to awakening consciousness is achieved through understanding mystical knowledge and in practice through meditation. My next video will focus on the Merkabah and the Kabbalistic meditation. So if you are interested in these topics, subscribe to my channel, and if you enjoyed this video, share it with your friends. In the description, I'm also providing the Sefer Yetzirah in PDF and other sources I used for this video, as well as my social media, Instagram and Spotify, where you can find my music and stay updated on everything. My name is Doma. Thank you and see you soon.